Hi, everyone. My name is John Cottrell, and this is Power Hour. Welcome. This is a 60-minute power vinyasa yoga practice, which means we'll be moving, we're flowing, moving with breath. And so for this practice, we're going to be focusing on outer hips and outer thighs. So for this class, you might need a couple of props. So I always like to use yoga blocks, and that's just for bringing the floor a little bit closer to you. In some cases, that can be like in a side angle pose, putting your hand down rather than going all the way down to the floor. You can bring it to a block. We might also be using it, you could also use it, we're going to be doing Pigeon Pose, and I'll show you how you can use a block in Pigeon Pose to support your hips, okay? So a couple of yoga blocks or books or pillows would be okay for that. And we're going to need a yoga strap, okay? Or just something long like a jump rope or a belt, something like that, okay? So those are the props that we'll be using in our practice today. If you like other things like a blanket or pillow, anything like that, a bolster, go ahead and grab those, grab some bottled water, and we are ready to begin our practice. So I'd like to invite you to stand near the top of your mat with your feet about hip distance apart and toes are pointing forward. We're just going to begin our practice here. Just standing nice and tall, establishing good balance, good connection to the earth. You might even take a few deep breaths. You might breathe in through your nose and a nice exhale through the nose or your mouth. You can sigh through your mouth if you'd like. Maybe a couple of those just to get in tune with your body, reacquaint yourself with your breath. Breath being the foundation of our practice, we want to make sure we establish that connection. It will certainly help us to, one, be in stillness, like this mountain pose and some other poses that we'll do together. And two, it'll help us to move. Breathing will just gives us that energy and that opportunity, the allowance to move. So just continue to hold in stillness, taking slow, deep breaths in and out. If you'd like, you can also create a personal intention, if you'd like, for your practice today. Very nice. As you're breathing in, you want to feel the breath rising upward, filling up your lungs. And as you exhale, you're going to connect to your center. So drawing your navel inward towards your spine, a nice contraction of your abdominal muscles. We call that the abdominal lock. Again, we'll inhale, get taller through the spine. Inhaling to fill up your lungs, and your exhale, drawing navel in towards spine. So do that a few more times, just adding a little bit more sensation to the body, feeling how the body now is responding to breath flow. Good. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths, and we'll begin our moving practice. So again, just standing in mountain pose here. Let's go ahead and inhale, extend the arms into the air. And exhale, let's fold forward, a good hinge from hips, bending your knees, making your way down towards your toes. And inhale, rise up halfway, sliding hands to your shins or knees, creating that long, flat back. Then exhale, back down we go to forward fold. So just pause for a moment and just start to feel some lengthening, maybe in the calves and your hamstrings. To gain a little bit more sensation in the backs of the legs here, shift your weight forward towards your toes. Even feel your toes grip your mat. That will just energize the backs of your legs. You might even exhale to draw navel inward towards spine so you have that good support in your center body. And now from here, go ahead and shift your weight back towards your heels. Your toes are now light. Bend your knees to take an imaginary seat. Look forward. And sweep your arms out to the side as you now inhale, rising up nice and tall. Reach for the ceiling. And exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. Good, just pause for a moment. We're going to do the exact same thing. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the air, big stretch. And exhale, we'll fold forward. Again, a good hinge from hips, bent knees, making your way down towards toes. And inhale, rise up halfway, creating your long extension through your spine. Exhale back down to a fold for a brief pause right here. Again, still feeling that stretch and lengthening and energized feeling in the backs of the legs. Now shifting your weight back into your heels, bend your knees, look forward, arms out to the side as you now inhale, growing tall, reach into the sky, growing even taller. Exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. Let's just pause here, take a couple of breaths. Very nicely done. Good. We're going to continue in a moment with our full sun salutation, starting with series A. Inhale, let's take the arms out and up, reach high, big stretch. Exhale, fold forward. Again, a good hinge from your hips. Always okay to bend your knees as you make your way down, perhaps touching your toes. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees. Feel that good extension through your spine. On this exhale, we're bending the knees enough to bring your hands down to your mat in front of you so you can walk or step both of your feet back into plank pose. Let's just hold here for a moment. Nice strong straight line in the body, plank. We'll breathe in. As you exhale, bend your knees slightly, then send your hips into the air. And we're moving into downward facing dog. You can make some adjustments with your feet if you'd like, even your hands. One suggestion here is to spread out your fingers a bit more so you have a good base in your hands. Press firmly into the ground with your palms so you feel that energy, strength, and length through your arms. You can even keep a slight bend in your knees. We're going to do a little pedaling with the feet, or imagine you're walking, for example, or pedaling a bicycle. So just press one heel down as you exhale, complete that exhale, inhale, and as you alternate the feet, exhale, press the other heel down. Feel this in your calf muscles. So it's a slow pedal, slow walk, good lengthening through the backs of your legs. Let the knees bend. You might even feel a little shift in the hips, side to side, which is good. We're going to get a little bit more into that part of the body. You might be able to get into it a little bit here as you pedal. So for example, as you press the right heel down, your right hip might push out to the right side. And then same thing with the left. Do that one more time each side. Come back to center. Take a nice full breath in. As you exhale, walk, step, or even hop, both feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extend through your spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, bent knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come all the way back up to standing. Reach into the sky. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Very nice. Another pause right here. A breath in and out. Let's continue with series B. We'll inhale, take the arms into the air. This exhale will take chair pose or a chair-like position. So sitting back, sitting down. Inhale, good extension out through your arms. Exhale, dive forward, down towards toes. Forward fold. Inhale, rising up halfway. Feel the top of your head lead you forward so you get longer. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the ground. Walk or step or hop both feet back to plank pose, high push-up position. Breathe in. Then the exhale, finish your push-up by squeezing the elbows in towards your ribs. Bend your elbows to lower your way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. This is your back bend. It could be a cobra pose. Then exhale, downward facing dog. Right into our lunges. We'll inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Reach back energetically. Exhale, we'll bring right foot up to the top of the mat. Next to right hand, left heel turns to the floor behind you. Find that good balance so it's easy for you to lift the upper body. Inhale, rise, reach into the air. Warrior one. Exhale, fold, hands back down to the ground. We'll step back, plank pose, come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. When you're ready for the other side, go ahead and inhale, extend left leg up into the air, reaching long. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the ground. Then you'll inhale, rising up, reach into the sky. And your exhale to fold. Hands come back down to the mat. Let's step back, plank pose, complete your series. We'll meet up together in downward facing dog. Hold in stillness for a moment. We're going to take a seat. You can hop forward, cross your legs to take your seat, or simply kneel down, take a seat in the center of your mat. We are going to roll down onto the back. I'm just adjusting my mat here. I'm going to go into bridge pose. So you're going to lie down Knees bent, feet flat on the mat. I like to take my feet a little wider than my hips. That just feels good for me. You can always keep the feet in a little bit so everything's aligned. So your hips, knees, ankles, feet all in the same plane there. But it's okay to take the feet a little wider here if you'd like. Okay, when you're ready, you'll take a nice full breath in to fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty your belly. Press feet into the ground to allow your hips to rise up into the air. You can use your arms for this too by bending the elbows at 90 degrees, pressing down into the ground with the arms to help lift your upper body. Now, I want to get my shoulders a little bit underneath me. That too will help open up through the chest region, creating more of this back bend feel in the body. We'll hold here for several breaths. Now, this really kind of gets through the whole front side of the body. We are doing some leg work with some particular focus on the outer hips and outer thighs, but this might get the hip flexors and psoas region a little bit here, right across the belt line. All right, 2 more breaths. When you're ready, just wiggle your toes forward a little bit. Extend your arms up into the air, then roll your way down. We're going to extend the body, extend the legs out front. Reach your arms behind you. Just reach in these opposite directions for a nice stretch. Okay, let's go ahead and bring both knees into chest. Rock forward and back a little bit. Then enough momentum with a good exhale to rock your way up to seated so you can come to boat pose. So you want to make sure your spine is well extended. You can lean back, leaning back enough so your feet just float up into the air. Maybe you can get your shins to be parallel to the floor there. Nice energized feet. You can hold on to the legs as I am, or even releasing the legs so the hands can be free. Either one. Make sure you're breathing, inhaling to get that nice lift through the sternum here, exhaling to engage the belly. We're going to move on the next breath. So you're going to inhale first. As you exhale, engage belly, cross legs, hands in front. If you can, hop or step back, plank pose, straight line. Bend your knees a bit, send hips into the air, downward facing dog. Let's continue with lunges. You're going to inhale, extend right leg up. Let's bend the right knee. Bring the heel down towards your backside, lifting the knee up towards the ceiling to create a bit of an opening up through the hips. Flex the foot in the air. That helps too. Inhale. As you exhale, unwind, and then send the right foot up to the top of the mat. Left heel plants down behind you. Rise up to Warrior One. And your exhale, opening into Warrior Two. Here you can make some adjustments. Maybe taking the feet a little wider. Lunging deeply. There we are. Nice extension. Good energy out through your arms. Holding here for a moment. Let's move into our side angle pose. So reaching out over the right leg. Angled upper body. Rotate your arms so your right hand comes down. Left hand reaching up into the air like so. Couple of breaths. This is what I was talking about, where the right hand in this case could come down to the ground or a stacked set of blocks, or you can stay up high as I am, and I just have my right arm braced against my right inner thigh. Let's breathe in. And the exhale to turn, bringing hands back down to the ground. Step back, plank pose. Just a pause right there. Good strength posture. And our same shortcut to down dog, a simple bend of the knees, hips into the air. Other side, an inhale to extend left leg up. Bend the knee, bring heel down towards backside. Lifting the knee, opening up through the hip. Feel that, flex the left foot. That'll help. Breathe in. Exhale, unwind, then step through. Left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants down behind you. Inhale, float your arms up into the air. Exhale, opening to Warrior Two. Same thing. Let's just settle in. Lunging deeply. There we are. Then side angle pose, reaching out, angled upper body, rotate the arms, left hand coming down, right hand up. Same idea here. Left arm can just brace on the inner left thigh, or bring in your stack of blocks or books. So you can go a little lower and deeper if you'd like, resting your hand or fingertips on those blocks. Let's breathe in, ready to move. Exhale, we'll carefully turn, going back down to the ground. We'll step back, plank pose. Finish the push-up this time, chaturanga. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, we are going to take another seat. So go ahead and hop forward, cross legs, and take a seat or kneel down. Take your seat. All right, we're going to get into a little leg stretch. You're welcome to use your strap for this one if you'd like. I'll use mine. So we're going to get into staff pose first, but just have your strap nearby ready to go. So flex your feet, strong straight legs if you can. Okay, there can be a slight bend in the knees, that's fine. Hands on the ground by your hips. Push into the ground just to ensure a nicely extended spine. So we have a good right angle through the body. I call it just an L shape. You can roll the shoulders back, squeezing shoulder blades together. Chin is lifted, so you have a nice long neck, so your gaze is forward. All right, if you're using your strap, we can go ahead and wrap the strap around the bottom of the foot or both feet here, holding on to either end. We're going to inhale, create a little tug. As you inhale, just tug the strap to help it re-extend the spine, keep the spine nice and long. As you exhale, another tug of the strap, pulling belly in, and feel your heart or chest move forward, reaching out towards your toes. Just enough where you start to feel some more lengthening through the hamstrings here. We're not going to stay here too long. We just want to give our hamstrings a little bit of a warm up here. Inhaling more lift and length through the spine at this angle. Exhale, going a little deeper. Now, right at this point, I'm not down very far, but I really do feel this. I can feel this in my legs. I'm trying to keep my spine as straight as possible. It is okay to round your back. If you want to go a little lower, you can round your back, even lower your head if you'd like. Okay, but it's all right to stay up a little higher, maintaining the extension through the spine and the legs. All right, 3 more breaths here. All right, and go ahead and rise back up so you have that nicely extended spine again. Hold. And then we can release the strap from the soles of the feet. Place the strap to the side. Keep that handy. We might be using that again. And then we're ready for our boat pose. You can just stay where you are. Bend your knees. Bring your heels in. Flex your feet. Make sure you're extended through the spine. What I like to do is hold onto the backs of the legs. It's like holding onto the strap. Just kind of pull yourself up and then create the angle. See how my head is kind of dipped down? Because my head wants to look forward, but you can see how it changes my posture. So you want to tip your chin up like that so the neck is in the same alignment as the spine. And then we can lean back, lifting the feet. We won't hold here too long. Just a transitional move. We'll breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. We'll take a shortcut, down dog. Bend your knees, hips into the air. Full breath in. As you exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale to extend spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, bend knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, grown tall, reaching high. Exhale, hands down to your heart center. Excellent. All right, we're just going to keep this in motion. Here we go. Inhale, float your arms into the air. Get very tall. Exhale, slowly fold forward. You can always keep a good bend in your knees if you'd like. Inhale, rising up halfway. Exhale, hands to the ground. Hop or step back, plank. You can come right down, chaturanga dandasana. You can always modify this flow. Up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, inhale, extend right leg up, bend and twist. Flex the foot as that right knee lifts into the air. As we exhale, unwind it, step through. Right foot to the top of the mat, heel to the ground behind you, rising up. Open, warrior 2. Hold for a moment in warrior 2, because we're going to take this to triangle pose. All right, so you're going to straighten the front leg, straight as can be. You can even shorten the distance between the feet if you'd like. I am just slightly there. Getting nice and tall through the torso, a nice lift through the sides of the body. So you have a lot of space in the waistline, arms out to the side. Let's reach out over the right leg. You'll probably start to already feel that in the right hamstring. And then rotate your arms. Again, you don't have to go down too far unless you'd like to. My hand kind of rests right at my knee. You can go down to your shin, ankle, or the ground, or stacked blocks. Let's just hold for a couple of breaths so we can feel that energy, okay? That extension perhaps in the hamstring. Couple more breaths. All right, listen carefully. We're going to bend the right knee, come back up to warrior two. Re-straighten the right leg. Turn the right foot forward so all 10 toes are pointing in the same direction. You can relax your arms for a moment. Take a look at your feet. If your feet are staggered, just make an adjustment so your feet are nicely aligned, but just wide apart. Come back out with the arms. I just call this a star shape. We're going to inhale, reach out with the arms. You can get tall through the spine as you exhale, pull belly in, even put a little bend in the knees here, and then fold. You can even bring the hands down, catch the ground with the fingertips. Inhale, re-extend the spine as if you're coming forward, and exhale back down we go. Always want to keep a good bend in the knees to help protect your back. Now, if this feels fine, okay, just check in with your body. You maybe want to take the feet a little farther apart, especially if you brought them in closer for triangle. So I'm going to take my feet a little wider, keeping the softness in the knees. Just be aware if you've locked out the knees. If they're locked, just put a slight bend in the knees. Fold as you'd like, okay? Now what's happening here? We've got a great portion, okay, of the legs in action here. It is a hamstring stretch since it's a forward fold. We're also affecting the outer hips, outer shins, inner legs as well. Right down through the ankles, since the feet and ankles are at an angle. All right, 2 more breaths in our wide-legged forward fold. Soften it up a little bit, but stay in the fold, but walk both hands towards right foot. Turn the right foot forward. Okay, place the hands on either side of the foot, so you'll kind of be in this runner's lunge. Actually, rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. Plant the hands into the ground to slide right foot back, plank pose, and we can finish the flow. Come on down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, let's go ahead and do the same thing, other side. Inhale, extend left leg up into the air, bend and twist. Unwind, step through, left foot to the top of the mat, right heel to the ground behind you, rise to warrior one, and exhale, open into warrior two. Hold for a moment. Going to triangle, so we're straightening the left leg, shorten the distance between the feet if you'd like. That just might help with balance. Okay, outstretched arms. We're reaching out over the left leg. Rotate the arms here. Just at a place, you don't have to go too deeply. Just want to feel that initial lengthening sensation through the back of the left leg. If you want to or need to go lower, you can do so for sure. Make sure you're breathing, and even breathing into the spaces where you have the most sensation. All right, from here, we're bending the left knee a little bit just so we have some leverage to come back up to warrior two right there. Okay, then re-extend the left leg, turn left foot forward so all 10 toes are facing the same direction. If you need to, relax your arms so you can look down at your feet and adjust the feet. I can see that my feet are not aligned here, so I'm aligning the feet, and then arms come back out to our star shape. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, bend your knees, pull belly in and fold. This is the exact same pose as we did on the other side. Once you've made it down, you're going to inhale, re-extend spine, rise up to fingertips, feel like you're coming forward. Exhale, back down we go. You can keep the feet where they are or take them a little wider. If you can, just notice where the pressure is on the feet. Sometimes, especially if the feet are way out wide, you'll start to roll inside towards your instep, towards the inside edge of your feet. You want to be able to kind of roll outward as well. So you have some sensation towards the outside edge of your foot as well. Of course, we got the hamstrings, inner thighs, outer hips and thighs, shins, all affected. Couple more deep breaths. And then walk your hands over towards your left foot, turning the left foot forward, lunging. Hands on either side of that foot, rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. So here's our runner's lunge. Plant the hands firmly into the ground. So you can slide that left foot back, plank pose. So you can complete your series coming down, chaturanga, flowing through to your back bend, up dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. All right. Let's inhale, extend right leg up into the air. Bend and twist. We're going to pigeon pose. As we exhale, bring right knee to the ground. Okay, behind the right wrist, angling that leg. And you can start walking the left leg back. So the left knee is on the ground. Use your knee and toes to move the leg back so you're a little bit more centered. So the energy is here at the hip, okay? Hip bone right here in center rather than too far forward out on the hands. Now this is where your block can come in handy, okay? If your block or a pillow or book, if can just kind of tuck right here underneath the right hip, especially if the hip doesn't go all the way down to the ground, and I don't expect it to, okay? So just put a block there, and that'll just keep your hips nicely aligned. All right, so we are going to take the upper body forward and down. So we'll inhale, good lengthening through the upper body. Exhale, walk the hands forward. You can just stay like this, just on your hands, or bring elbows to the ground. And this works nicely too. Just at a place where it feels just right, okay? Now, an alternative, and we didn't practice this in this particular class, but you can do an alternative pose if this pose for some reason doesn't feel quite right on your joints, like your knee or your ankles or your hips. You can roll over onto your back and cross right leg over left leg, like a number 4 shape, and get into the outer hip. So we're doing kind of the same thing in pigeon pose. So just notice this sensation perhaps in the outer hip, maybe in the glutes, but of course we're also affecting the left hip flexor, so the kind of the front portion of the leg. Let's just take 3 more breaths here. And then you'll use your hands and a breath, of course, to rise back up, upper body. If you've got that block, you're just going to remove that block and then sit onto your right hip. Just sit all the way down. Bring the left foot around to the front. We're going to come to Cobbler's pose. Just briefly here, bringing the soles of the feet together. You can hold onto the feet or ankles. Just sit up nice and tall, just to kind of align the body, get a little stretch through the inner thighs. We're going right into boat. So you're going to start to lean back. As you lean back, bring your knees together, lifting the feet. Don't forget the chin lift right there. Good extension through spine. We're going to move right away. Inhale. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. Let's just take a shortcut to down dog. Right there. Other side. So inhale, extend left leg into the air. Bend, twist open. We're going to pigeon as you exhale. Let's bring left knee down to the ground. Behind the left wrist. Angled leg there. Use the right knee. Just bring it to the floor. Right knee and toes. See how I'm shifting my weight back. It's getting less weight and pressure in the hands, more sensation in the center, right there in the hips. Okay, and that's where I want this. I am going to bring in that block again for my left cheek, just to keep that slightly lifted and balanced. Again, you're welcome to stay up high like so, or a nice full breath in to feel extension through this torso. Exhale, feel like you're actually crawling forward. You might just rest here on your forearms. You might even get low enough where your head even comes down to the ground. I like to stay like this because I'm not down very low at all. So I like to just kind of rest on the forearms here and just settle into this pose. Same thing, if you need to do the alternative, just roll onto your back and cross left ankle over right thigh. Hug the legs in close, holding onto the legs with your hands. And you get that outer hip stretch on the left side. Notice what's happening if you are in pigeon pose. If you are getting that sensation of hip release or a little stretch, and also the right hip flexor. Let's hold for a few more breaths so the body can really take advantage of the pose, gain the benefits of the posture. Let's go ahead and take 3 more breaths. And then slowly rising back up onto your hands, moving your block out of the way if it's there. Sitting off to left side, so you can bring right leg around to the front. Cobbler's pose briefly, soles of the feet together, just hold on to the ankles or shins, sitting up nice and tall, just establishing a balance in the body because, doing pigeon is only one side, correct? And so this kind of brings some balance back into the body. And then into boat, Navasana. Bring the knees together, leaning back, keeping the neck long, spine long, lifting the feet. Hold. Let's take a breath in, ready to move. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back plank pose. You can complete your series here, or just right away to down dog. You can always take that shortcut if you'd like, or some variation of this flow. Returning to downward facing dog. A nice full breath in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extending spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, bent knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come up to standing, reaching really high. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Well done. Good. Couple more breaths here. Let's get into some more leg work. Okay, more hip work. Okay, so pigeon pose is a nice introduction to getting into the outer hips a little bit. Let's do a little bit more. Okay, we're going to inhale. Take the arms up into the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, hands to the floor. Hop or step back, plank pose. Come down if you'd like, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Move at your own pace. We've picked up the pace a little bit. Inhale, extend right leg up, bend and twist open, flexed foot. Unwind it, step through, right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel plants down behind you. Inhale, float both arms up into the sky. Exhale, opening warrior 2. Let's take the feet a little wider. Lunge deeper, side angle, reach out. Get into those inner legs again. Okay, we're still in motion. Breathe in right here, expanding. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor, step back. Down dog, just sweep the right leg back and up into the air, straight line. Right foot to the top of the mat. High lunge, left heel stays lifted. Shift the weight back. So you have balance. So you can rise up here, hold for a moment in high lunge, engaging the legs by squeezing them in towards center. Keep that energy as you rise up to straighten this front leg. Pivot left heel to the floor, turning sideways, arms down to parallel. You've kind of prepped your way into for triangle. So let's go ahead and take triangle, reach out. There we go. Rotate the arms. That's it. We're still in motion. Breathe in. As we exhale, just bend this right knee kind of into a side angle, but come back up to warrior 2. Re-extend right leg. Right foot turns forward. Same alignment as the feet, so adjust there if you need to. Breathe in, get long through the arms and spine. Exhale, pull belly in, bend knees, and fold. Making your way down. Finishing the exhale. Inhale, extend spine. Just rise up to fingertips, come forward. Exhale, fold. Settle here for several breaths. Really get into the legs, all portions and sides of the legs here. Deep breathing. All right, listen carefully. Soften it up a little bit. Walk both hands over towards right foot. Turn right foot towards the front of the room. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you. Okay, hands on the ground firmly. Down dog. Slide the right foot back and up into the air. Reach, bend, and twist again. Pigeon. Right knee to the ground behind the right wrist. Now this time we're going to stay up high. See how my weight is forward. I'm putting all my weight is in my hands. So the left knee back here, I just crawl the left knee and toes back, shifting the weight back, and that puts less weight in the hands. That way it's easy to kind of step the hands back. See how I'm walking my hands back, I'm staying on my fingertips. And as I push into the ground like so, see the straight line shoulder right down to the wrist? Okay, another version of pigeon, really getting into this left hip flexor as well as this outer hip. Couple more breaths here. All right, listen carefully. Okay, same idea. We're just going to sit off to the right side. Bring left leg around to the front, cobbler's pose, just briefly, just to find some alignment. Okay, nice extension through spine. Boat, lean back, knees together. Long spine, lift feet, maybe free hands. Inhale, we're moving again. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. Hold. Okay, I'm adding something new. Bring both knees to the ground, right here underneath your hips. All righty? All right, follow these instructions. I'm going to do this with you. All right, you're going to send your right knee forward just up towards the right hand, okay? And then slide it to center. So your right knee is right between your wrists. Okay, you might need to step your hands forward a little bit. Extend the left leg, but keep the toes on the ground like this. Tap your right foot. Send your right foot over towards the left edge of your mat. Step forward a little bit more with the hands so you can actually pick up this left leg. Bend the knee. Tuck the knee in tightly behind right knee. Tuck it in, squeeze it in, no space. And then swing that left foot over towards the right edge of your mat. And then with your hands, start to sit, walk back, sit back. If you can't go all the way down to the ground, something like this is fine, like this. You may be getting some sensation in the outer hips. If you're able, take your seat. If it feels like that's way too far away, this is when you use your blocks again, 1 or 2. Let me see if I can use 1. Okay, then sit back. I probably need 2. I'm going to get 2 blocks and use that as a seat right there. There we go. That feels good. So I can actually sit quite comfortably like this on the blocks, okay? But I'm getting that sensation in the outer hips. Now, the closer I am to the floor, it's going to be more sensation. The blocks lighten it up just a little bit. If you're able to be on the ground, great. And if you need more sensation, then you may want to hinge forward like that. That'll put a little bit more emphasis right through here, okay? Now we're going to hold this for a little while longer. All right, we did all that flow just to get here. All right, this is part of another pose called cow face pose. Now we're doing the leg portion of it. There's actually an arm portion, but we're not doing that part today. We're just going to focus on the leg portion, which of course gets into the outer hips. All right, how you doing? Let's take 5 more breaths. I want you to really get into this. Let your body experience the sensation. It's pretty intense, especially if you're folding forward or sitting on the ground. After the 5th breath, okay, I'm going to remove my blocks because I'm going to sit down. That means the legs will kind of come uncrossed, and that's perfect. So sit down, lean back into your hands so you can extend the legs out front, okay? Maybe adjust your seat so you're balanced and aligned here. Okay, legs straight. Just extend the arms up into the air and carefully fold. Just hinge. Maybe just let your hands land where they land. It might be at your knees, shins. Maybe you can reach your toes. Just a couple of breaths here. We're going to inhale, take both arms up into the air. Exhale, hands down to the floor by your hips for staff pose. Take a breath. Right into boat again. And we're flowing. Cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose, come down, chaturanga. Up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, we're doing that whole sequence on the other side. All right, starting in down dog. Go ahead and inhale, extend left leg up into the air, bend and twist, flex the foot, unwind, step through, left foot to the top of the mat, right heel to the ground behind you. Let's rise up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Maybe a wider stance, lunging deeply, side angle, reach out. Rotate the arms here. We're not staying here long. We're going to breathe in to expand. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor, back to down dog. Slide the left foot back and up into the air, straight line. Left foot to the top of the mat, high lunge, high lunge. Right heel stays lifted. Shift the weight back so there's lightness in the hands so you can easily rise up. Hold here for a moment, lunging, hug to center, especially through the legs so you feel that energy in the legs to help stabilize this balancing lunge posture. Then we're going to rise up, straightening both legs as best as can be. Pivot right heel to the floor, turn sideways, arms down to parallel, prepped for triangle. Go ahead and take triangle. Reach out, rotate your arms. Feel what's happening in the body. Hamstring stretch here. Let's breathe in. Exhale, bend the left knee a little bit so we can come back up through or to warrior two. Re-extend left leg, turn left foot forward, adjust the feet, look down to check in. Inhale, reach out, get tall. Exhale, pull belly in, bend your knees and fold. Coming all the way down, finishing the exhale. Inhale, rise up just halfway, extending through spine. Exhale, fold. Holding for a few breaths, getting to all portions of the legs. Even make adjustments in how wide you want your feet here. All right, soften it up and walk your hands over towards your left foot. Turn the left foot forward. Rise up on your tiptoes behind you. Then take the left leg back and up into the air, down dog, bend and twist, pigeon. Left knee to the ground behind left wrist, angled leg. Use your right knee and toes, shifting back, finding that balance. All right, we're going to do the high version of this, where hands come by your side, prop up onto fingertips. So as you press into the ground, upper body lifts like so. It's kind of like upward facing dog. Really gets into this front leg here. And it is a back bend. If that's too much pressure on the back, you can even lean forward a little bit if that helps, okay? We're really feeling the effects of our pigeon pose. Okay, then we're just going to sit off to the left side so we can bring the right leg around to the front for a quick realignment. In Cobbler's pose, right here, sitting up nice and tall. Okay, and then boat, leaning back, knees together, lifting feet, holding on or free hands. Okay, we're inhaling. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front, hop or step back, plank pose. Stay in plank. Bring knees to the ground. Okay, now we're ready for our cow face pose. So we're sending the left knee forward, up towards left wrist. Doesn't have to touch it, just in that direction. Slide it to center. Then you might need to step your hands forward slightly. Extend the right leg back, stay on your toes. I kind of think of this as a drawbridge, because the bridge is going up and the boat, the left foot, needs to go underneath. Just swing it over to the right side. Maybe stepping hands forward if you need to so you can pick up that right leg, bend the knee, and tucking that knee tightly in behind the left. We're making a little V shape because that right foot swings off to the left side. So there's a little space behind you now. Legs are squeezing together, and try to sit back and down. If you need to stay up in the posture like this, stay here, because I definitely feel this. Okay? But you can always bring in those blocks if you can reach them. Okay, there they are. And sit. So you can just get off the hands completely if you're able. Again, just be aware of your knees. If you need to, because I really got the knees bent here. You can even take the legs out a little wider. Actually, it makes the pose a little harder, though, to take the feet out. Okay, just be aware of that. But if you need to soften the knees, that's fine. And then even hinging forward to create a little bit more sensation. Again, we're going to hold this. Okay, if your hips seem to be loosening up and you don't need those blocks or less blocks, try it out. Or fold a little deeper. Or like I said, if you take the feet out or like forward, okay? That direction towards the front of the mat, that also creates more sensation. I don't think I can really move too far there. It puts more sensation in those outer hips. You won't even need to fold forward. I'm already feeling it. All right, how about 5 more breaths? Take your time with this. Sometimes I like to think we have a time limit on some poses, and if you already met that time limit and you're already out of the posture, that's fine. It's okay to come out of these poses early. Okay, so I'm going to remove the blocks, sit back, which will start to uncross the legs, and that's perfect. Hands behind you so you can catch yourself. So you can uncross the legs, adjust your seat, extend legs forward, sit up nice and tall. Let's inhale, extend arms up into the air, and exhale, fold. Again, just let your hands land wherever on the legs or even reaching out for the feet. If you can reach your toes, the back might round a little bit, and it might feel really good on your back. All right, let's inhale, take the arms back up into the air, straight line. Exhale, hands down by your hips for staff pose. We'll take boat pose once again, one last time. A lot of boat poses in our practice today. Lean back, lifted feet. Hold for a couple breaths. Okay, we're not going to go through a flow here. We're just going to bring the feet back down to the ground. All right, relax here. Get a sip of water if you need it, and also get your strap and have it handy. Okay, now we're going to lie down. We'll do this together. I'll try to talk you through this. You probably won't be able to see me very well, but I'll try to talk you through this. All right, so first just lie down with your knees bent, feet flat on the ground as if you were going to go to bridge, but we're not. Just relax here for a moment. Let your low back release, your hips. Sometimes just keeping the knees bent and feet on the ground in this position is quite relaxing. It is for me, but if it feels better to extend the legs all the way onto the ground, you can do that. All right, we're going to hug the right knee in towards chest. Just bring it in towards your chest. Grab your strap. And let's get it wrapped around the bottom of the right foot. And then extend the leg up into the air. Flex the foot so your heel is reaching for the ceiling. And then we're going to extend the left leg out onto the floor in front. Okay, hold here for a moment. We've got an automatic hamstring stretch. We're going to try to get into the outer thigh right here a little bit. Okay, here's what you're going to do. Okay, so the right foot is in the air. Take your left hand to hold on to the strap. So your left hand is holding onto the strap. Your right hand is going to come to your hip, okay? Right where the leg bends, right in that nook right there. And then even use your hand to try to press that side of your body, okay? Try to press your hip down into the ground. Then we're going to slowly start taking the right leg across the body, crossing the midline towards the left side of the room. But we're still trying to keep the right hip grounded. If the right hip lifts off the floor, this pose turns into a twist. We're not doing a twist. We're trying to get some lengthening through the outer leg. Actually, we're getting a stretch potentially through the IT band, okay? Big band of fiber, okay? Okay, down through the side of the leg here. From the hip all the way down to, actually it passes the knee towards the shin. Okay, long band. And this is a nice gentle stretch really. Just crossing the leg, crossing the midline. So the foot feels like it's reaching across and up towards the left corner of the room while your right hip is staying grounded. That's why your hand is there. 2 more breaths. We're going to bring that leg back to center. Okay, you're going to bend the knee, release the strap. We're going into a hip opener here. So you're going to bend the knee, grab hold of the bottom of the foot. Basically, we're doing half happy baby pose. Half happy baby. So just happy baby, just one leg. Okay, so a good bent knee, hand maybe on the bottom of the foot or ankle, pressing gently downward. The knee feels like it's coming down towards the floor on the outside of the body. Make sure the left leg is still straight and flex that foot. That'll stabilize the hips here as well. You can even extend this right leg if you can or if you want to, okay? Just get a little bit more movement and extension through that leg if you want, but not necessary. We're just getting into the hip. All right, let's go ahead and release this leg out onto the floor. You can even reach your arms behind you, just a little stretch in these opposite directions. Let's do the other side. So we're bringing left knee in. Let's grab the strap. Let's get the strap wrapped around the left foot. Extend the left leg into the air. Okay, and we'll get that automatic hamstring stretch. It is okay if there's a bend in the left knee. Right leg is straight. On the floor, flex the foot. Okay, now you're going to switch hands on the strap. So right hand is holding onto the strap. Left hand on your hip, right into that nook, and push down towards the floor. Just enough where you feel like, okay, I'm still flat on the ground. You can feel your whole backside on the ground, and that's where it's going to stay. Even as you start crossing the left leg across the midline towards the right side of the room. For me, I don't have to go very far to feel this. I'm already feeling this, and I barely cross the midline. And maintaining this left hip grounded as best as I can. Again, if the hip lifts, okay, and the body turns and that left leg comes all the way down to the ground like this, that's a twist. Okay, that's a twist. Okay, a different sensation. We're trying to get a lengthening, a stretch, mostly in that outer thigh area, that IT band region. Now, you may not feel anything. Okay, if you feel like that's not an area of challenge for you, then this pose you may not feel anything, but this is actually nice preventative work as well, okay? Because you do want to stretch that on occasion. If you're tight in that area, then you probably will feel this. All right, 3 more breaths. Okay, we're going to come back up to center. Okay, bend the knees so you can release the strap. Let's take our half happy baby pose. Right here, that right leg is still straight. Flex the foot just to stabilize as you're working that left side. Deep breaths here. And again, if you want to extend that left leg if you want, just to get a little bit more into that leg, you're absolutely welcome to do so. Or just maintain the holding sensation of happy baby. We'll hold for about 3 more breaths. And then you can release it and re-extend the leg out in front. Arms out behind you, reach just to realign the body. And then bring both knees to chest. We're just going to finish up with a twist. Let's take both knees over to the left side as you extend your right arm off to the right side. An option here, okay, because this does get into the low back, it might even get into the right hip a little bit, but to get even more in the leg again, you can extend the right leg, that top leg. Just kind of kick the right leg out to the right side, just pushing through the heel. And that'll kind of continue that lengthening process. Okay, very energetic here through that right hip girdle down through the outer thigh, or just keep the knee bent. 2 more breaths. And then bringing the knees back up to center, aligning, and then taking knees down to the other side. Same thing, you can just hold here in the traditional twist. If you want more sensation, you can kick that left leg out, getting more in that hip and outer thigh. Even briefly is fine. If you want this to be a little bit more relaxed, then you don't have to do that extension. Two more breaths. And then you can just come back up to center. Same thing. Hug the knees in for a little realignment. And then right into Shavasana, extending the legs out in front of you. Arms can come down by your side. Just relaxing there. Let everything just kind of fall open. Start with your feet. Just let your feet just kind of fall open naturally, which affects the legs, your hips, feeling your low back relax and soften, your upper back and shoulders. You can close your eyes. We'll spend the next few minutes here. You're welcome to stay here as long as you need to. Even as I complete the practice, you can always stay just like this. When it is time to move, you can just take 5 slow, deep breaths. Feeling movement begin to slowly return to your body. And after your 5th breath, take your time, roll onto either side of your body, move in slow motion. You might even pause in this nurturing pose. Then carefully rise to a seated position. Remember, if you're still in Shavasana and want to stay there, you're very welcome to. If you're rising, just come to a comfortable seated posture, sitting up tall with an extended spine. Your arms can just relax down by your side. Hands can just rest in your lap or on your knees or even at heart center. Take a nice deep breath in and out. One more movement. We'll inhale, extend the arms up into the air. Exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. And take one more breath in and out and hold in stillness for a few more moments. And as we come to the close of this portion of our practice together, we bow together saying, Namaste.